So today I'm going to talk about depression, self-harm, and suicide. Now, one of my subscribers suggested that I talk about it, so that's what I'm going to do today. Alright? And I did go online and do some research on it just to give definition on what each terms mean. Alright? And then give my experiences on what happened to me. And also give you some tools on how to deal with it or manage your mental health. Now, for depression, it says a group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood, such as depression or bipolar disorder. Now, we've all experienced depression or bipolar disorder, in our lifetime. I have, dealt with that all my life. And I'm just glad that I finally, got some help for it. And I have a therapist and a psychiatrist to talk to. And hopefully they'll help me, with some tools on how to manage it. So I can have better control over my emotions. Because there are some days where I just, don't feel well mentally. Where I'm feel really depressed. And then other days, seems like every day that I'm always angry, and that's not healthy at all. So, yeah, so hopefully, things will get better for me, because I hate being like this. I never was like this at all, because the old me was always happy, loving and cheerful, person. But a lot of stuff happens in my life, where I didn't have a proper way to grieve, and that's goes for losing my grandparents and my friends that I loved so dearly. And then me getting sick with ulcerative colitis disease and not being able to find work because I'm on disability and not being sure, if I'm even capable of doing that. And there's other stuff that I would like to do as well, like get my driver's license. Hopefully I'll be able to do that as well. So I have a lot of things going on right now, but I know as long as I stay in faith, God for sure will help me through it, so that's what I think about, when I go through depression or have a bipolar disorder episode. And it's important, to surround yourself with good people that love you and cares about you and want what's best for you, because I didn't have the right people in my life. People that were in my life I thought will always be there for me, but they weren't. They chose to either distance themselves from me or not talk to me, or just had other things, going on in their lives, which I understood, and that goes for relationships as well. I feel like anybody that I was ever in a relationship with just played mind games, acted like they cared, or wanted to be with me, but then just changed their minds, and then having the whole separation anxiety, and being attached. That's another problem that I have. Getting emotionally attached to somebody that you really love, care about, can become very toxic. So always give yourself some time, and give your significant other or anybody, some space. Because there's no reason, to see the person every day. It's good to have some me time sometimes. Because if you see each other too much, then it's going to cause chaos, and, that's toxic within itself. So just be mindful and be aware, of how you treat people. Because sooner or later you're going to lose the people that you love because of, how you are or act. So definitely make sure to check yourself, if you do start doing things. Because it's not right, especially those, that tries to help you. And when they do, make sure that you listen and understand what they're saying to you, and just take it, as advice, and maybe learn a few things, that's what I'm working on, because I haven't always been, you know, a good person, especially, what I've went through my life, and just, how I come off, that concerns me. So I don't ever want to be this angry, bitter person anymore. That's why I got tired and found a therapist and a psychiatrist to speak to, so I can learn to deal with myself and have better control of my emotions. Because I don't want anybody that I care or love about to not want to be around me. So it's best to always be honest and express yourself on how you feel. And make sure whoever that you talk to will understand and listen to you and see things from your perspective and help you, any way that they can. Because you're not alone. I've always felt like I was alone, because I didn't have a proper way to grieve when I lost the people that I love, like my grandparents and my friends. That totally changed me, because I was never the same, after that. But I'm just glad that I'm getting the help that I need, So that's good, at least. And I'm also trying to, get my life together as well. There's other things that I want to do, and goals that I want to achieve or accomplish. But I know with God's help, He'll help me through it, so I can get to where I need to be. Next is clinical depression. Now, this is a mental health disorder characterized depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairment in daily life. Now, there are some things that I have lost interest in, things that I used to do that I don't do anymore, which is not good at all. But I would like to, get back to that. Like with meditation, I had done that, but I don't do it often. I think I probably lost interest in it, because I would rather have somebody to do it with instead of doing it alone, because it's very hard to do, And also exercise. I try my best to do that, whenever I can, but that's also a struggle, because I don't do it every day like I'm supposed to, but I have to find some resume, of a schedule, to keep track of that. And also keep my health in check too. Like make sure I take my medicine when I'm supposed to. So. But clinical depression, that's awful to go through. But it is important, if you have lost interest in a few things, make sure, you get back into that, so you won't be bored. There's always new ways, to do things that'll make you feel good, that you enjoy. Like with me, I like to, of course, exercise, dance to music, read a book, or do anything that makes me happy. Like me doing YouTube videos. That makes me happy, even though it's a hobby of mine. And I'm not like a professional YouTuber or nothing like that. But it does help me in some ways. It keeps me busy. And that's what I want to continue to do. With everyday life stuff. Then you got persistent depressive disorder. Now, this is a mild but long-term form of depression. Now, I haven't had this, but, depression, comes and goes, but I mostly, feel anger. And then you have also bipolar disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and then postpartum depression. Now, for the definition of bipolar disorder, it's a disorder associated with episodes of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to manic highs. Now, I thought I had bipolar disorder, or bipolar 1. That's what they call it. With depression, because I have like depression and, anger issues. So both of them kind of blend in, together. So I might have that. I always thought that it did. But speaking to my psychiatrist, she suggested that I'm probably suffering from bipolar 2 disorder. Now, for this depression, bipolar 2 disorder thing, so it's a type of bipolar disorder characterized by depressive and hypomanic episodes. Yeah, with me being angry all the time, and then also, of course, having depressive, episodes, that I can definitely believe, that I might have bipolar 2 disorder. So once I get treatment, for that, then hopefully I won't ever feel those things as often as I do. Lastly is postpartum depression, which occurs, after childbirth. Now, I feel that's sad and horrible to go through, when mothers do give birth to a child and then end up having depression because of it. I've heard so many stories, that weren't good, how mothers act, with their child. Some moms, end up harming their children because of it, or even worse, or be neglectful, to the child, which is not good, or abandon them. Any things, that a mother does, that's negative, that's not going to help in any way. So it's best to, get the help that you need if you are experiencing some type of mental health disorder. Because you don't want to take it out on your child. This is probably why I never had kids. Because I was afraid that I would, act like that and take it out on my child, which I don't ever want to do. Because growing up, I've experienced that, with my mom. That's why we don't have, much of a relationship, really. I mean, I love her and care for her and all that, but, when it comes to situation like mental health, that doesn't get taken seriously, and I wish it would have, because this is just terrible, if all of us go through mental health and nobody really takes the time to listen or understand what you're going through, inside your mind, because it can be like a prison, and you're stuck in this purgatory realm, something that you can't get out of. And I've been in dark places, involving my mind and all that I've went through. So it's important to talk to somebody about how you feel. And don't be afraid to express anything, and be truthful and honest with yourself and the person that you're talking to about it. Because they'll help you, to deal with it. Whatever tools that they give you. Now, next is suicide. Now, it says, is the act of intentionally causing one's own death. Now, I've heard so many, stories about suicide and people taking their lives, because of the stress, and the pressure of society. But most importantly, bullying. Now, if I've, been through that all my life, being bullied, growing up, whether it was in middle school or high school, I was always a target. I did, do a video about that, so if you guys get a chance, you guys can look at that, see what it's all about. Yeah, it's not good to be bullied, and when a person is bullied, it's important for somebody to step in, and do something about it. Don't be a bystander and watch somebody get hurt, or hurt themselves, because in the movie No One Would Tell, Jessie Raphael, who played the judge, she said, when you see a person hurting or you see something going on with them, you know, you're supposed to do something about it. And that's definitely true. You are. Because if you care about someone and you love them, you're not supposed to stand by and watch something happen to them. You're supposed to do all you can to protect the person that you love. You know, and if they're trying to hurt themselves, you definitely need to be there. You know, and just show support. That's how it's supposed to happen. You know, someone that's dealing with mental health problems or having thoughts of suicide, you're supposed to, you know, listen and understand and maybe put yourself in their shoes and learn from their perspective and see where their head is at. And you shouldn't ever give up on them either. You know, I've had people in my life that I thought cared about me and loved me, but they just abandoned me because I was too much to handle. Because how I am, I know how to come off in certain ways, which I don't mean to. But that's only because I feel threatened, or I feel like, you know, people want to judge and criticize me because who I am as a person, which I feel it is unfair. It really is. You know, and that's what I don't like. I've always wanted to also feel included, you know, and feel like I belong. Because I tried that, you know, in school, you know, wanting friends. I had 2 friends, but they don't talk to me anymore. You know, which is a bummer, but that's life. That's how it goes. People change, you know, like seasons. They're here one minute and the next, you know, they're gone. So it's best to choose people, you know, that will uplift you, not bring you down or cause any type of emotional trauma or pain, you know, to you. Now, for self-harm is when someone hurts themselves as a way of dealing with very difficult feelings, painful memories, or overwhelming situations and experiences. Yeah, I've dealt with self-harm. I've never done that, by the way, but I did have a bunch of razors, you know, and my cloth, like washcloth, and just always had it in a sock. I never did anything with them, thank God, because I knew if I tried to harm myself, then that would be it. I knew better than that, but I did, you know, cut my wrist one time, you know, using an eyebrow, you know, thing that had a blade on it, you know, but I never did that ever again because I knew better, and I knew what type of pain it would cause if something did happen to me and I wasn't here anymore, and how it would affect, you know, those that I love, you know. And I've had thoughts here and there, you know, about self-harming because I get overwhelmed at times in situations, you know, especially if it's like a physical altercation, you know, or any other type of drama. I can't deal with that. It's best to just talk things out instead of having explosive arguments and fights and always lashing out. You know, that's not a healthy way to deal with it. The best way is to talk about the issue when you're calm, you know, in a better mindset, than to be in an angry state and just not dealing with things that you're supposed to do. You know, so always, you know, calm down first, and then if you do want to talk about it, then do that. Otherwise, you know, you won't make anything better if you're in that type of mind frame where you're just angry. So that's not good. Just let things cool off, and then once they do, then, you know, open up and be honest about how you feel. So that's my advice for that. So I'm going to give you some tools, you know, on how to manage your mental health. And I have like a few lists of it, but I'm going to read a few things for you. Alright. And then I'm going to, of course, ask you some questions, at the end of this video, on have you, ever experienced anything, of what I discussed, in this video. So, tools to manage mental health. The first one is cultivating compassion. Now, it is important to have compassion, empathy, or sympathy for someone that's been going through stuff in their life. If you can be there for that person, and be a friend, then that would be good. Because no one wants to feel alone, or be alone for that matter, if no one doesn't have compassion or understanding of what you're going through. Next is conflict resolution. Now, conflict resolution, would be a good idea, to deal, instead of lashing out, or just in a fit of rage or arguing all the time. It's best to, like I said, to let things cool off and then find some conflict resolution. And that is by talking things out. Talk about the situation that just occurred and set some type of boundaries so that you will learn, how to deal with it and use tools of that and understand the other person on what they're feeling and how it made them feel, in that moment. And then you guys can come together, for this resolution and know what to do next time, Self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is very important. Even X spoke on this. Self-awareness, you have to know, the patterns and, the signs when you have, stuff that's going on with your mental health. And just stay alert and be on point, of it. So I think that's, a good idea, to do. Listening, patience, and meditate. Listening is also a very good tool to use. If you listen, to the person that's talking to you, that's trying to help you, to, deal with certain things that you are having trouble with, it's best to listen and just not talk, because I have that problem. I'll say pretend that I'm listening, but really, I'm not really hearing the person out at all. So listening and understanding what the person is saying and really get, what they're trying to say to you, I think you'll get much more clarity that way, if you listen. Patience. Now, with patience, I have an issue with that because I get impatient a lot, and I would always want things, to go my way, but that's not the case. That's not a good thing to do. It's best to have patience, and the things that you want or need will come to you. So being impatient is not good, so make sure not to do that. No matter how hard it is, it's best to wait, on certain things. And meditate. Now, meditation is a good thing. I've tried it, like I said early on, in the video. But meditation is good to use. Just, take some time for yourself and put on some, meditation music and just sit and relax and not think about anything else. Just block out, all that has been bothering you, and just, make sure that you focus, on yourself, and your breathing as well. Yeah, and lastly, you got dance to music, communicate, understanding, connect with others. That's a good thing as well. It's important to connect with people, that you trust, that'll help you cope, with stuff. And also stay positive, get physically active. Exercise is good, that'll definitely motivate you, to help you stay positive and help others. I, have tried, to do that, helping others. Even if I'm going through my own, stuff in life, I always try to be there for people, that need help. So you should always help out somebody, that needs your help, and do the best, you can to be there for them. And you got get enough sleep. Sleep, is definitely good, because I have insomnia and I have trouble sleeping. So if you find certain ways to help you sleep, then you should definitely do that. Eat well. That's good too. If you eat certain foods, like healthy foods, fruits and vegetables, that will definitely help your mind with your mental health. But if you eat, stuff that's not good for you, then that's not good either at all. So just make sure you eat certain foods to help, with your body, so you can stay fit and be healthy in mind, body, and soul. Take care of your spirit. Yeah, take care of your spirit for sure. When it comes to spirituality, always make sure to pray, to God about it. Don't let these evil negative energies or demons or whatever try to discourage you. Always protect your spirit. Yeah, so there's a few others here. Pray, write and journal. Yes, it's important to pray to God about whatever you're going through, because He'll help you through it. And you're not alone. And it's also helpful to write in journal or a diary if you have one, and just write down your thoughts, of that moment or whatever you're feeling. Because I like to write, and that's all I do is write in my journal and just express what I'm going through. So having a journal and a diary should definitely write down your thoughts, because it'll help you and, feel better. So have you guys ever experienced, these topics that I spoke about in this video? If you do, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments, and I will be gladly to answer any of your questions or anything that you want to talk about. I'm always here for you guys, if you need me, alright? Later, I will be doing a tribute video for Gekyung on Foy, which is X's son. He just turned 4 years old today, so look out for that, alright? Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I did, the best I could to give you some tools on how to manage your mental health, and so that you can have control, of your emotions. Alright? And don't be afraid to talk to someone, because, you're not alone. And please, like this video, view it, and like I said, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. Alright? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please, because you subscribing to my channel will help me grow my channel. I need you guys, because if I didn't have you all, I wouldn't even have this channel. So I really appreciate you guys for supporting me, and I hope you still continue to support me, because all I want is respect, love, and support. And I hope that you guys enjoy my videos, because I try my best to make these videos and give you, the best content that I have, you know. And turn on the notification bell button to all so that you won't miss any new videos when I upload. Love you guys. Bye.